Hey guys, and welcome to my first ever podcast on my YouTube channel. Now, before I start, I would like you all to know that I am working on part 3 of my 2024 updated history on Discovery Family. That'll be next week. Anyway, back to the podcast. Today's episode will be about cartoons from the Golden Age. Ah, those good old times. Cartoon characters from that time like Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Daffy Duck, Bugs Bunny, Woody Woodpecker, Sylvester, Tweety, Superman, Little Lulu, Betty Boop, Popeye the Sailor, Felix the Cat, Casper the Friendly Ghost, and more all had a great potential in each one of their cartoons. Let me give you an example. For 1940's Knock Knock Andy Panda cartoon, Andy and his father, Papa Panda, try to get rid of an annoying woodpecker. That will be the first debut of Woody Woodpecker. For the cartoon Puss Gets the Boot, it featured an anthropomorphic cat named Jasper and an anthropomorphic mouse named Jinx chasing each other around the house. That would be considered the first debut of award-winning Tom and Jerry. And also in 1940, with the Merry Melodies cartoon, A Wild Hare, it featured one of the recent characters around that time, Elmer Fudd, going against a little bullying but still lovable rabbit. That would be the first debut of how we all know him today, Bugs Bunny. Cartoons around that time had a big hit, and a few other characters like Minnie Mouse, Porky Pig, Pepe Le Pew, Foghorn Leghorn, Bluto, Willy Whopper, Flip the Frog, the Silly Symphonies, and many of the animated movies from Walt Disney's times were considered to be the best and not the best animations of all. Now, basically, for cartoons such as Mickey and Pals, the Silly Symphonies, the Walter Lantz cartoons, the Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies, the Flesher cartoons, and more, these cartoons were against the most popular cartoons to this day. I mean, they are as popular as some of the current cartoons on channels like Cartoon Network, Nickelodeon, Discovery Family, or Disney Channel. But aside from that, these cartoons are pretty good. And also, there were two Witch Hazels from this era. Witch Hazel from Disney, and Witch Hazel from the Looney Tunes cartoons. And also, Speedy Gonzales and Chip and Dale were pretty good rascally cartoon characters in their two series, Mickey and Pals and Looney Tunes. And once they entered the 1950s, the golden age of animation was doing great, introducing characters like the two Witch Hazels from Disney and Looney Tunes, Speedy Gonzales, Casper the Friendly Ghost, Winnie Woodpecker, Wally the Walrus, Chilly Willy the Penguin, and the two first Hanna-Barbera cartoons on TV. Sadly, this wasn't to last because in the 1960s, cartoons like Tom and Jerry and Popeye the Sailor grew down and began to make some horrible and infuriating cartoons with the Looney Tunes and Merry Melodies series doing the same thing a year later in 1964. Even though the golden age of animation has now turned into I think, Bronze Age, I think there will be a Renaissance era of these cartoons in the future. Anyway, what do you guys think? Do you guys enjoy this podcast? Did you like it, hate it, or whatnot? Stay tuned for the next episode of Zach's History Notes podcasts.